When someone uses your past against you, remember this: they're not reminding you of who you were, they're revealing who they are. A Stoic understands that mistakes are not shameful secrets but necessary steps in growth. Your past is a teacher, not a weapon, and anyone who tries to use it against you is showing you their fear of your evolution. In this video, we're going to explore the Stoic mindset that helps you stay calm, centered, and unshakable when someone tries to judge you for things you've already outgrown. You'll learn what to say, how to protect your emotional boundary, and how to respond with quiet strength, without anger, without drama, and without giving away your power. If someone tries to define you by your past, this is the moment to rise above, regain control of your narrative, and master your emotions the Stoic way. Why people use your past against you? People don't bring up your past because they care about truth, they bring it up because it gives them power. When someone uses your history against you, it's usually a strategy to control the present. The Stoics understood this deeply: people attack what they fear, and they fear what they can't predict or dominate. If you've grown, improved, or evolved, some individuals feel threatened because your progress exposes their stagnation. They try to anchor you to an older version of yourself, hoping you'll stay small enough to make them feel comfortable. It's not your past they want to control, it's your confidence. And the moment you react emotionally, you give them exactly what they're looking for. From a Stoic perspective, your past only has the power you continue to give it. If you treat it like a prison, others will use it like a weapon. But if you treat it as a lesson, no one can hold it over you. Stoicism teaches you that external judgment is out of your control, only your response matters. When someone brings up your mistakes, it reveals their mindset more than your history. A person who attacks your past is showing you their insecurity, their resentment, or their need for superiority. A wise mind sees growth, a small mind sees ammunition. Understanding this truth is the first step toward emotional mastery. Once you recognize why someone behaves this way, you stop taking the attack personally. You stop feeling guilty. You stop giving power to old stories. And most importantly, you stay in control of yourself, which is the highest Stoic victory. The Stoic principle: you are not your past. A core Stoic truth is simple but powerful: you are not the same person you were yesterday. Marcus Aurelius wrote that everything is constantly changing, including you. Your past is not a life sentence, it is evidence that you've lived, learned, and evolved. When someone brings up your old mistakes, they are referring to a version of you that no longer exists. The Stoics would say, if the past cannot be changed, then it cannot define you. The only thing that truly matters is who you choose to be right now. Your character is shaped by present actions, not past errors. Stoicism teaches that mistakes are not signs of weakness but opportunities for transformation. Without them, wisdom is impossible. A person who never fell never learned to rise. When you accept your past without shame, you take away anyone's ability to manipulate you with it. The Stoic approach is radical ownership: you acknowledge your history, you learn from it, and you move forward with clarity. The past becomes a teacher instead of a chain. People who cling to your past are stuck in their own. They see you through outdated memories, not through your present reality. But a Stoic does not seek validation from others. A Stoic focuses on inner growth, inner peace, and inner truth. You are not who you were when you made those mistakes, you are who you became because of them. And that distinction is the foundation of emotional freedom. Once you internalize this principle, no insult, no reminder, and no judgment can shake your sense of self. Your evolution is your shield. Your self-awareness is your strength. And your acceptance of your past is what makes you untouchable. Phrase 1 to say when someone uses your past against you. The first Stoic response when someone brings up your past is simple, calm, and incredibly disarming. You say, "Yes, that was me. And I've grown since then." This phrase is powerful because it removes the weapon from their hand. Most people expect you to defend yourself, explain yourself, or react emotionally. When you respond with acceptance, you break the pattern. You take away the tension they were trying to create. Stoics teach that no one can use what you openly embrace to hurt you. When you acknowledge your past without shame, you show emotional maturity, self-awareness, and confidence. People who try to hold your history over you want you to feel guilt, regret, or insecurity. But this response shows you've already made peace with your journey. This phrase also communicates something deeper: growth. You're telling the person that while they are stuck looking backward, you are focused on who you are becoming. It subtly exposes their intention without confrontation. Imagine someone saying, "You used to be this," or "Remember when you messed up?" Instead of arguing, you calmly reply, "Yes, that was me. And I've grown since then." Their attack collapses instantly because it no longer has emotional impact. This is not weakness, it is emotional mastery. You're demonstrating control over yourself, over your narrative, and over your past. A Stoic does not fear being seen as imperfect. A Stoic understands that imperfection is the starting point of wisdom. This phrase does two things at once: it protects your peace and highlights your evolution. When you respond this way, you show the world that your past may be part of your story, but it no longer defines who you are. Phrase 2 for emotional boundaries. The second Stoic phrase to use when someone tries to weaponize your past is this: "I don't live there anymore, and neither should you." This response is calm, respectful, and firm, the perfect Stoic balance. It sets a boundary without aggression. It communicates growth without arrogance. And most importantly, it gently exposes the other person's fixation on something that no longer matters. When someone brings up your past, what they're really doing is trying to pull you back into an old version of yourself. They want you to defend old mistakes, justify old behavior, or feel trapped in old emotions. This phrase makes it clear that you have moved on. You are not stuck. You are not frozen in the memories they are using. "I don't live there anymore" is a declaration of identity. It means, I'm not that person. I've grown beyond that chapter. I refuse to be defined by who I used to be. The second part, "and neither should you," pushes the responsibility back onto them. It reveals that they are the ones holding on, not you. It forces them to confront their own attachment to an outdated story. This phrase also reflects Stoic emotional control. You're not arguing. You're not explaining. You're not trying to change their opinion. You're simply stating a boundary rooted in self-respect. And boundaries are essential to emotional mastery. Without them, people will continue to pull you into conversations that drain your energy and weaken your sense of self. Using this phrase helps you rise above the judgment of others and stay focused on your present character. It reminds you, and them, that your life is moving forward, and anyone who keeps digging into your past is only revealing their refusal to do the same. Phrase 3 to reclaim your dignity. The third Stoic phrase to use when someone tries to judge you by your past is this: "My past shaped me, but it does not control me." This statement carries weight because it does two things at once: it acknowledges your history without denying it, and it establishes your independence from it. Stoicism teaches that what matters is not what happened to you, but how you use it. Your past experiences, good or bad, are raw material. They help forge your character, strengthen your resilience, and clarify your values. When someone tries to bring up your past to make you feel small, this phrase calmly reclaims your authority over your own story. You are not pretending your past doesn't exist, and you're not running from it. Instead, you're demonstrating mastery over it. You're showing that what once challenged you now empowers you. This response also breaks the manipulative intention behind the attack. People often bring up your past to trigger shame or insecurity. They expect you to shrink. But when you say, "My past shaped me, but it does not control me," you show them that you've already integrated those experiences into your identity. You're no longer fighting your past, you're using it as fuel. Stoics believe that nothing outside your current mindset has power over you. The past is external. It is gone. What remains is your interpretation of it. When you frame your past as a stepping stone rather than a chain, you demonstrate emotional freedom. This phrase invites respect because it is grounded in honesty and strength. You're not hiding. You're not ashamed. You're not defensive. You're simply establishing that you are the one in charge of your evolution. And when someone sees that their attempt to control you through your history no longer works, they lose their influence. Your dignity becomes untouchable, and you walk forward with clarity, confidence, and inner peace. How Stoics neutralize guilt traps. One of the most common tactics people use when bringing up your past is the guilt trap. They want you to feel ashamed, indebted, or emotionally weak. But the Stoic approach to guilt is very different. Guilt is only useful if it leads to improvement. Once it has served its purpose, it must be released. A guilt trap works only when you believe you still owe something to your past. The Stoic mindset frees you from this. When someone tries to manipulate you by saying things like, "You're still that person," or "You never changed," they are not reminding you of reality, they are trying to control your emotional state. Stoicism teaches that your responsibility is in the present moment. You acknowledge what you've done, you take accountability where needed, and then you move forward with integrity. Anyone who continues to hold your past over you is acting out of their own unresolved emotions, not out of truth. The way Stoics neutralize guilt traps is by refusing to play the emotional game. Instead of defending yourself or apologizing endlessly, you return to rational clarity. You remind yourself, what is outside of my control cannot define me. The past is outside of your control. Someone else's opinion is outside of your control. What is in your control is your response, your calmness, your self-respect, and your focus on who you are today. When you stay anchored in the present, guilt loses its grip. The person trying to manipulate you becomes powerless, because you are no longer reacting from old wounds. This is emotional mastery, the ability to remain steady even when someone tries to pull you backward. Final Stoic reminder, your past is a teacher, not a prison. Here is the final Stoic reminder, your past is a chapter, not a life sentence. It exists to teach you, not to trap you. A Stoic does not run from what happened, they transform it into wisdom. Every mistake you made, every lesson you learned, every version of yourself you outgrew has shaped the strength you carry today. When someone tries to define you by your past, remember, they are looking backward because they cannot see your potential. Do not let their limited perspective limit your growth. You have the right to evolve, to improve, and to become someone new. Your past may explain who you were, but it does not decide who you are becoming. Your power is in the present moment, and when you master your emotions, no one can take that power from you.